All right, so I'm going to start today by talking, which
Yes.
with a lot of commenters, I think ones who watch our clips,
Want more or what?
they say that you don't let me talk,
Ugh.
which it's true.
Shut
He
up,
doesn't let
shut
me
up.
talk, and
I was just going to say, actually, that reminds me. Go ahead. Sorry.
I thought you were actually about to say something.
You're so used to me interrupting you.
Wow.
You got offended. Okay,
No,
go.
I wasn't. I was not offended. I was just like shocked. I thought I was like, whoa, like that is a lack of awareness.
Yeah, awareness. We're going to talk about that.
Well, so I was reading this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, which everyone is reading right
Famous neuroscientist, Rick Rubin.
now. Isn't he like a music producer?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
He's like a famous hip hop producer and whatever, rock and everything. He's, legendary producer.
Yeah, my comedian friend Joe List was like, "You've got to read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin." And usually when people recommend things to me, I like avoid them, but he kept telling me I have to read it, and so I finally got it. And I had just been starting it, and I was reading all these quotes that I loved and writing them down, and I was like, "Oh man, like Daniel's got to read this book." And I texted you. I was like, it was like a whole long thing. Like, I'm reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I think you'd really enjoy it. And I think it could be some really interesting stuff for our podcast. And I like copy and pasted a quote. And you were like, yeah, I read it. It's great. It's just like.
Read it. But I did have that reaction of like, it's just so a book that I would love.
I guess I didn't realize that you read.
Fair enough.
Like, not that you don't seem like someone who's intellectual and that would read, but I just assume you're too busy like practicing or making videos.
No, that's a thing. Like, actually, I used to read a lot more, and then I found more and more that when I wanted to engage in something intellectually or artistically, I would just go to the piano. So, and I would almost justify that in my own mind of, and I wouldn't say this to myself, but I think I would feel like in a way I was reading, because I'm reading music from all the great composers, and I'm getting scintillated by it. I'm getting ideas from it. I'm getting inspired, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. And like, it's playing music is a shorter hit. Where you're feeling sound in this present way all the time, and you're like, the narrative is unfolding in such a vivid, visceral way. Whereas when you're reading a book, there might be, you need just way more, in my opinion, you need a lot more time and patience. You can play for 10, 15, 20 minutes a beautiful piece by Chopin and feel totally fulfilled, and then go do something else. Very hard, I think, to read a book for just 10 minutes, read a novel, and that you're just let me sit down and start this novel, go for about 10 minutes, and then, okay, I'm fulfilled. I'm going to go do something else. It takes a longer, capacity or something.
That's an interesting comparison, though, reading and playing music, because to me, I was like, well, but in one of them, you're like creating, and one you're reading. But actually, if you're playing Chopin, you're reading Chopin.
You're reading.
It's kind of the same thing. One is obviously a little more, what's the word? Interactive. No, but a lot of people would argue reading is interactive.
Well, here's a question then. Like, it's a little like I'm reading a lot of the same authors over and over and over and over again. Because, unless I'm really diversifying what I'm taking in musically.
Right. But scholars do that. They study one author or one philosopher for a while and read tons of their work over and over again and think about them.
Yeah.
So there's overlap. And
you kind of probably need to be doing both. I just so was getting that. I think I was getting that musical hit. I
think that you're actually.
This is me hitting up with some Brahms right here.
Oh man.
I did that so naturally. I've never done that. Okay, I give blood.
Sure,
but I've never.
You give blood. Do you know your blood type?
I always forget it. AB.
I realize
positive.
I don't know my blood type.
AB
recently.
positive, I think. Yeah.
And I can't find it anywhere. It's not on it's not on any tests you get. Like when you go to the doctor and they do all these tests, you think they could just like put your blood type up in the corner.
Yeah. It's like, we have no idea what your blood type is.
I have no idea. I asked my parents. They don't know what my blood type is. I have to go give blood to like get, because they tell you your blood type there.
I think that might be an American thing too, because there's at least some other cultures. I know Asian cultures, some are like, oh, that's super, it's linked to like your astrology, and like it's really important for you to know your blood type, and it's like crazy if you don't know your blood type.
Yeah, we don't know.
And we don't know. I'm not going to ask.
Yeah. Anyway, so you give blood, but the only drug you've ever shut up is Shostakovich.
That's right. Yeah. That's
some hard
he's
shit.
A hitter. Yeah. You get high from that. That's for sure. Well, okay, yeah, I'll mull that over. But I have been wanting to bring reading back into my life. And so it's nice that you texted me. Yeah. Because although I've read this...
when did you read it?
A couple years ago. 2 years ago. Oh,
okay. So this is... See, to me, it's like new. I just discovered this book.
Oh, it's great.
And
So, yeah, I mean, what's something that inspired you in it? Or, like, why did you text me that?
Well, can you find the quote that I pointed out to you?
Yeah. We came in prepared today for this podcast.
We did, because this one particular quote is something that I find very connected, not only as like joke writing, because a lot of comedians, well, we'll read the quote first and then.
Yeah.
But with music, especially this quote.
I think this is the one you were talking. I mean, there's a couple, but here's one. The best artists tend to be the ones with the most sensitive antennae to draw in the energy resonating at a particular moment. That's one that I definitely want to talk about. I don't know if you did, but this idea that instead of, oh yeah, I remember the one you were talking about, sorry, but we'll get back to that. Instead of this idea of you have to sit down and create an idea, or you have to do an idea or find an idea, like, where is it? You know, instead of actively searching for it, instead work on becoming a receiver for more information and more ideas, because they're available to you all the time. It's like these clouds of ideas that are just hovering around us, or this ocean of ideas. And the David Lynch analogy is like catching the big fish. So it's like casting your reel into this big, beautiful lake of ideas. But no matter what how you want to put it, you need to be patient in that process, and you need to be a receiver of ideas so that you can, oh, there it is. Kind of like when you're meditating and you find thoughts.
Well, when I read that quote, I thought, that's exactly how I feel as someone who comes up with ideas, as a writer, comedian, and filmmaker, and sometimes music, but mostly I'm creating, not in music. But I've never felt like anything that was good that I made was something I like concocted. It always felt like it was something that finally appeared and I grabbed it.
Like do you feel like you channeled it, or you were just, okay, so it was something almost like, where did it appear from?
Well, the other thing is with the antennae analogy, like the work you need to do every day is you need to put up your antennae. Mm-hmm. Antenna, I don't know.
Yeah, let's just go with antenna.
Okay, it sounds douchey to say antenna.
I think we only have one.
I have one. If I had two, I'd have a lot more ideas. But like the work of, sitting down and a lot of writers will say, if you want to be a writer, just sit down and write. Doesn't have to be good, just write. And to me, that is the equivalent of like putting up your antenna, because an idea is not going to come to you every day or every moment you do that. But if you don't even put your antenna up, you won't even catch the good ideas. Yeah. So, and with certain pieces of music, like they're so beautiful when I hear them that I'm like, these just must have existed in the universe. Like, and this composer just found it. And I never mean that in any kind of disparaging way, like they didn't come up with it themselves. Like, no, like they were sensitive and patient enough to let it come, and actually like willing to, I think there's like an ego you have to put aside to really have those ideas, those real, like really good things come to you.
And this is something I want to explore a little, because you're talking about it and the book talks about it as like the idea. This is the idea, like this musical phrase or this piece of art or whatever. But, of course, it doesn't work that way. It is a culmination of many small ideas that it's not like one idea that you're following. It's a breadcrumb of ideas that lead to some larger idea, or it's maybe, to keep talking about this thing of accumulating information, right? It's like you're taking little bits of, oh, there's a little piece of the puzzle, there's a little piece of clay or whatever that you're starting to form your statue, from it. So that's where the work comes in, of sitting and being patient and allowing little bits of information to accumulate. Because look, when I start, let's say, a video, or if I start a program where I want to like talk and play or something, it wouldn't be possible for me to hold the entire concert in my head, right? I want to get inspired. I can't wait to get inspired. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think, and then just allow, or I'm going to read about a composer, or I'm going to play through some music, and then one sentence happens, right? Like, wow, this piece by Debussy, which I think this will apply to Debussy. I'm going to play some later. But this piece by Debussy could have been started just from this one little kernel of an idea. And then let's follow that. Let's follow that thread. So it was only that first idea that was the ignition or the match that led to an inspiring session of ideas.
Right.
To me, that's how it feels.
Yeah, and it's super obvious with joke writing to me, because an idea, like something that seems, there's something funny about this thing that keeps happening, or this idea I have. And then what the joke ends up being, to me, there always feels like there's only one solution. It's like, it's going to come, but like there is a joke here in this irony that I'm sensing in the world. I'm like, what's the joke? And to me, it's always about finding it, not coming up with it. Like, I hate stuff I come up with. Like, it's awful. But then occasionally, like, it's like, that's it. And it just appears. The conditions are different for everyone. I think there would be a lot of overlap. Oh, that's my process too, but different artists have different things. Some that's like, got to be in a room full of people and we just talking ideas, talking. And I get stimulated and that and that. For me, I have to mostly, unless I'm talking to like one person who I get along with and we can kind of generate ideas together. Like in a group, forget it.
No, you I've seen you in groups, and you're a classic. I don't know if introvert is the right word, because I haven't done the deep dive on the introvert extrovert thing.
Sure,
but when people are filling the room up, you rescind, or whatever the word. You kind of like, you're like, okay, the energy is being taken up, so I'm just gonna like chill.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like it would be natural. I would have to do something like put on in order to then command the attention, and it's not going to be my best self. So I'd rather retreat and then let people discover it one-on-one or through my work. And
then the irony is, on stage, you're like this larger than life. I mean, you're a comedian, right?
Right.
You're creating all of the attention in the room.
Yeah, but it's all pre-planned, and I know if something goes wrong,
it is.
Like it's all
some
pre-written.
People don't even know that about comedy.
I know. No, it's all completely written. Sometimes I'm figuring things out on stage, but the goal is that it's all pre-planned. And then if someone calls out, or if there's a crowd work moment, it's fine, because I have the structure to come back to. I can always come back to the material. So if something goes off the rails and it's kind of weird, and they're like, well, anyway, back to what I was saying, and I've done it enough that I can usually make that a funny moment. Like, well, that was weird, just some sort of like energy where I can recognize that we've gone off the rails, and now we're gonna go back to the thing I wrote. Sometimes I'll even be like, this next joke, you guys are gonna love it, like, to get them back into the thing, because that's the type of comedy I am best at.
Yeah,
and some comedians are really good at just kind of stream of consciousness in the moment. I guess I could get good at that if I want, but why? Like, other comedians do that, and I do the written thing. And
when you're doing like when you were creating your movie, how did you sit down and come up, like, it's such a more daunting task to be like, now I'm going to create an entire film. Like, how do ideas come there? Or was your process the same as if you were going to come up with like an hour special?
The process is different because the special is lots of little jokes that I work on in little pieces. And then eventually I'm like, okay, I have all these jokes. How do I weave them into some sort of cohesive order? And, because it's not, a lot of comedians will do like a one person show and it's really just a stand-up hour, that they've tried to, and I'm not knocking it. I'll probably do that too for the next one. But it comes, at least the way I do it, and a lot of comedians do it, it's all these different little ideas, and then you try to find a connective tissue with it. Whereas a movie, I was just like, okay, this is the story. Okay, what comes next? What happens? So I'm writing it pretty much in order of the story. It's not like, I have all these different things. How do I? Although actually, with this movie in particular, it was a bunch of little episodes I had written that I then wanted to include, and then I wrote more of it. So actually, it wasn't that different, but it was, it's just sitting down and writing. It's not like something that needs to land in the moment with an audience.
Although probably the part of actually producing it and creating it with others and actors, that requires a lot of like spontaneity.
Right. The direction, and when we're on set, it's like, okay, can you do it more this way?
Yeah.
Because I know the beats in my head. I know how I want to edit it. I need this to be more like a this moment. Like I need this to be more deadpan or more, awkward or whatever I wanted in that moment.
Right.
So there's overlap, but it didn't feel daunting. It just felt like something I really wanted to do, and I just sort of sat down and did it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I that's the other thing. I feel like, and maybe this is something that people think is like lame, but if something feels daunting to me, it's usually a sign that it's not exactly what I should be doing. Not if it feels scary, not if it feels challenging, but like daunting usually means I don't at that moment have quite the capacity to do it. And I need to start smaller and build to it more.
I feel that in my throat.
Really?
Like if we're talking like actual where you feel that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's daunting, like you're getting there. It's like daunting versus just, challenging.
Challenging, scary, risky. That's all different.
Risky. Okay, everything is risky.
Yeah.
You gotta. And so I need a lot of external force actually to take major risks. I think I come from a place and I come from a family of like lower risk.
Okay.
Where I just grew up being like, make a salary, like have a family, like live a life that is not too off the rails. Don't take too many risks. And then, so actually my struggle was more to find that, wait, I could be an artist. And what does that even mean to be an artist? I kind of didn't believe in the word. Kind of like, what does that even mean? I'm just going to work really hard at whatever I do.
Yeah.
And I had to learn, this book is very useful because it's almost affirming that. It's kind of like, well, artistry is just caring about something really deeply and dedicating yourself to it and tapping in to something that you feel is spiritual, that isn't just part of this physical world. Right. Something that is like connective and connected to something greater than yourself. I definitely feel that when I'm doing my thing, when I'm playing music and feeling inspired, when I'm sharing it with others especially. My highest value is connection. I need to feel connected and connected with other people in order to feel happy, in order to feel inspired anyway. Well, forget about happy. Happy's a whole can of worms.
Sure.
But like, so this book especially spoke to me because it was like, look, you're not special. Everyone's special. The ideas are just kind of out there, and some people grab them and some people don't. I'm going to teach you how to get better at receiving them.
Right. Recognizing them.
Yeah.
When they're there.
Having awareness.
Yeah.
Building awareness of that and yourself, I think, is the one major thing you can do in your life to better your life. Like, it's a surefire, like, let's increase the amount of tools you have.
Right. And my favorite artists are the ones who simply just wait a little longer for the, they just sit with it a little bit more, especially comedians, because there's comedians who make really hacky, obvious jokes, and you're like, really?
Have you ever used like AI for anything?
No.
Okay, and I love this.
Except
you're very
like
anti-AI.
I have a stomach ache on the right side.
Yeah,
Is
right.
this normal? Like sometimes now I use it to like ease my anxieties, but never for anything creative. Never.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll admit that one time whatever. I mean, I'm not ashamed of this at all, but like, I'm making these videos day in, day out. I'm like, okay, this is a lot, and I'm performing and I'm doing a lot of other things and I have other projects. And I live alone, so it's like,
so sad.
yeah, and I'm lonely and I cry. So what AI does is it helps me ease the suffering.
Don't live alone, and I cry every day on the couch. Just putting that
That's
out
you.
there.
You're gonna cry by the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
No, but look, what I find extremely useful is a sounding board. So like, I'm happy to call a close friend, call a family member, and be like, hey, I was thinking about this idea, and I just need to like flesh it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm someone who needs to flesh out ideas by talking or writing. You can be your own sounding board by writing stuff down and then looking back at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or talking into a recorder and then being like, oh, there's a cool idea in there somewhere, right? Not being identified with your ideas or attached to your ideas, but being like, ideas are flowing through me. Now let's go sift through them for that diamond. And ChatGPT or something like that, AI, is hypothetically a platform where you could do that.
Like,
right?
Here are all my ideas.
Like, hey, or like, I'm thinking about doing an idea about this. Like, what do you think? And then it's going to spit out a bunch of other non-original ideas, but that'll get you going on some other stuff that could be creative and original.
Sure.
And so, I used it for a moment to be like, okay, and I kind of I was like, oh yeah, that leads to this idea, and then I went off and kind of did my own script and made a video that was, but I used ChatGPT to kind of be a sounding board for a moment, and it was without a doubt worse. And I didn't realize it at the time because I was just overwhelmed, and I was just like, honestly, I was just being a little bit lazy.
Sure.
Because I ran out. It's just like, I really want to put out a video. I don't have time. I'm overwhelmed. This'll take that process of step 0 to step 10. We can just eliminate all that.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you from 0 to 10 fast, and then like the last, I don't know what this is, a scale of 15. I don't know why I said 10. Let's say it's a 15.
Yeah.
It gets you from 0 to 10 really quickly, and then you can do the last 30%. Jeez, I really backed myself into a
thought you were
corner.
about to say, and you know what? If you know how to use it as a tool, it's fine. But then you're like, no, it was worse.
No,
okay, cool.
It's subtly worse. As in, there is, and this is like spirituality. I don't know. I can't label it, but there's something that happens when you sit with your own ideas and the world long enough where you will generate something that genuinely connects to people on a deeper level than that AI can ever get to.
Right.
And I can't describe it other than like, it's palpable. I feel it. It does also represent itself in the analytics. It's like that video that I will not reveal which one, but that video got less views. Like it just like, it doesn't connect. And I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had that moment of whatever failing, because it taught me something. I think it taught me something that people who refuse to ever use it will not know, which is like, there's something in there that it's not grabbing because it can't. And of course, all those AI people will be
I'll
like,
never use it,
yet.
But I know. No.
Yeah, you knew.
No. And I think that's really commendable also that you were able to recognize that, because that's another sign of a good artist is being able to say, you know what, I'm going to kill this idea. Not, you don't have to kill it. Whatever, you post it, doesn't matter.
I could take it down.
Social media is like a garbage bin.
I came up with ultimately I came up with my own ideas, but it was filtered through in a way that like spoiled it.
Yeah, but you killed doing that again.
Yeah.
You know,
I won't do that again.
And for me, not to be like, I'm so great, but I'll write jokes all the time or come up with an idea and write like a page or something and be like, you know what? This isn't it. And it's not, I don't even want to salvage it. I'm just like, nah.
I've done that too.
Let's do something else.
Yeah,
and I think the quicker you can recognize like a non-starter and you can keep it because sometimes there's ideas that you're just not ready for. Like I have joke ideas where years later I was able, let me craft that in. Like I had a bit in my special. It's one of my personal favorite bits of the special. And it was an idea I had in my first couple years of comedy, and it was just kind of like not that great. I didn't have the chops for it. And then I put it aside. But
you didn't throw it out. You put it aside.
Put it aside. Well, I remember most of these ideas, you know, and then I was sort of looking through notes and I was like, I wonder if I could do something with that. Because I had another joke that was tangentially related to the same subject. So then I thought, okay, maybe I could bring that idea back in. But anyway, just knowing like when something is just a non-starter and like trying to salvage something and make it Frankenstein it into something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just better to
feel it when you're doing
put it away. Put it in the drawer.
Put it away.
Yeah.
Yeah. To go back for a second to the openness of Rick Rubin, I wonder what he would say about AI. But
he's probably said a lot of things that you could find.
He probably has. He's like, this book came out like 10 years ago. I don't believe any of that anymore. Ideas are actually like in a specific place in Ohio that no one has access to except for me. So turning something, here's another quote from his book. Turning something from an idea into a reality can make it seem smaller. It changes from unearthly to earthly. The imagination has no limits. The physical world does. The work exists in both. And I love that. I have felt that when I even just try to take an idea I might have, and then quickly try to turn it into language, like on this podcast, where language feels so insufficient to me to capturing the abstractness of something like an idea, which really is like a cloud, that can't be. We even say like an idea, right? It's this limitless thing that may or may not turn into words if I choose to put some of it into words. But a composer to me who plays with this, maybe this tension or this line between the abstract, the beautiful abstract of something like nature, which is undefinable, and the definite quality of tonality is Claude Debussy, who, was called an impressionist, and I guess he resisted that title. But
he did?
Yeah, and I haven't looked deeply into it, but I know that he didn't accept being an impressionist. Maybe it was just
ask Chat.
Douche. I don't know. Huh?
Just ask Chat.
Yeah. Like there are some things that Chat is good for. But
that's not one of them.
That's not one of them. I won't grab my phone right now and ask. But let me play a couple things. We'll switch over for a sec, and I want to play something that I feel like speaks to this topic. Okay. All right, I've got my music here. I want to play a little bit of this first Arabesque, which is a piece I played when I was a little younger. But this point I was making earlier, Debussy's pieces tend to start in this inviting and curious way. I mean, like, think about Clair de Lune, or Girl with the Flaxen Hair, or Bruyere, the Prelude. I mean, there's so many pieces that just, they're giving you they're inviting you to like open the window into the world that he's offering. Or as you put it a different way, that
an inviting question.
Yeah, that it's a question.
But it's a question that doesn't alienate you. It's a question that says, what do you think?
What do you think?
Doesn't something happen here?
Yeah. And in his preludes, famously, he puts the titles at the ends of the pieces instead of at the beginnings in the score. So he's not giving you a preconceived notion of the piece as for the performer. before you start, which I think is brilliant. Other composers don't do that.
That's such an interesting fact because it's something only the performers know about Debussy's intentions or wanting to not make his intentions known. Because if you listen to the piece, you don't know where he, in the sheet music he put the title.
Yeah. Remember I played Kurtag earlier, and he's another composer that's giving instructions to the performer, like, use only 2 fingers here and things like that are, I think that what those things do is they bring the performer into a state of more receptivity.
Right.
So it's like you can't really interpret this music unless you're in a state of curiosity.
Right.
So he's kind of allowing you to get there through his instructions. So anyway, this first arabesque also starts just incredibly simply. Recognize that scale in the right hand? You know that harmony? What is that? The pentatonic
just the
scale.
pentatonic. No, I was gonna say that.
I gave you a beat. If you know Debussy, he got super interested in Eastern influences.
Yes. Did he go to the World's Fair?
Yeah.
So did Ravel, or?
I don't remember if Ravel did, but Debussy was really impacted by that, especially gamelan music.
Yes.
But this is long before that.
Oh.
So this is a young Debussy just experimenting with modes and stuff.
That's so interesting. So maybe when he finally heard the gamelan, was he just like,
yeah, that's it.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been tapping, like,
there's a place for me.
Like, it's the universe, like these things sort of exist. And for some reason, he had a sense of that.
Yeah. He was already interested in getting away from the traditional European tonal harmony structures and everything. And then he found his answer in a lot of Asian music from the time.
Right.
So, but he's still rooted in the left hand is like an open triad.
Right.
And it's beautiful. I mean, you can just like improvise over this sometimes. It's really, really beautiful. Pentatonic in the right and just a major triad in the left. But then... So he is still rooted in form. We kind of traveled all the way down the keyboard and then made our way back up. So, and there's always this kind of beautiful symmetry in Debussy that he finds in nature, where like it's form, but it's a different kind of form than sonata form. It's like just shapes that arrive or show themselves over time, like a kaleidoscope that's just changing colors or something.
Or like a painting that's more abstract, right? I could think of a painting that's like different shapes and colors, and maybe there is sort of a structure to it, but it's not something that you could say, oh, that's a tree.
Yeah. The people in impressionistic paintings, for example, are usually not well defined.
Right.
As opposed to the Romantic era where there's like, it's all about like the individual is like super important. For a long time, I mean, in art in general, it was about the feelings of the individual. Here it's about letting go into something greater than you, dissolving the self into a bigger natural world of meaning. So even as he's writing this pretty young, he's finding these kinds of shapes. And he's allowing the patterns to kind of direct where the story goes. Here's where we release into something larger. music just feels so spontaneous.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, to me, it's like you're flying when he's rising up there. I mean, it's the wind, just taking the music. And yeah, it's funny because later there's a quote from him saying something like, the music of the wind and the sea, that music that inspired him from that World's Fair is like, that's the real language, not all this rule and structure of, Western European art music. That stuff is stifling.
And music written for royalty,
Yeah, like what's the point?
Yeah.
He found so much more fundamental truth and beauty in nature and the music that might inspire us to feel more connected to nature.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wait, what was the second quote you read?
The second quote I read.
We talked about the artist having an antenna that gets these, and then it's like music like this. That's the ultimate feeling of he just had his antenna up and this just came. It feels so organic and flowing and
feels
connected
like how
with
his pieces
nature.
begin.
But what was the second quote?
Please let me interrupt you. Okay. The second quote was...
See, that's the type of thing where we're going to clip like that and they're going to be like, he's so mean to her.
I love being mean to you.
And I enjoy it.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Let me be mean. Turning the unearthly into the earthly, or turning the immaterial into something that's physical.
Okay, so I will counter that idea slightly, that with music, especially that doesn't have words, to me that's the closest medium where I feel like you're still in that unearthly idea. Like if you're making a movie, for instance, you see it in your head and then you make a movie that it's not going to look, your thing in your head is going to guide you to some new thing. Right. And that's what he's sort of saying. It goes from unearthly to earthly. But with music and with poetry, where it's a little less connected directly to our language, and to just, picture, like real pictures, like photography or cinematography. It does feel like a more direct transcendence of these abstract ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like it depends on what camp of music you're in. Like,
sure.
I'm
talking about good music.
well, Debussy is towing that like with scales like this, or what? The whole tone scale. Where it's like, okay, he's deliberately trying his best to evoke something that is not grounded, right? Whereas a C major chord, that is traditionally in where he's coming from in terms of composing, is from this rule-based thing. So I think Debussy is someone who feels that, like, no, music isn't that way. In fact, music has traditionally been super rule bound and like about earthly, like our egos, and oh wow, you want to write a love letter, expressing yourself and how much pain and sorrow you're in, dude. Yeah, forget. Wow. Okay, Beethoven. She's only 17,
yeah.
But for him, he's like, what if we got out of that? What if we changed the way music felt? And maybe we take it for granted now because we do have all kinds of different music,
right?
And we accept it as this really abstract thing. I don't know how they thought in the 18th century, how they approached it in terms of like, oh, this is this abstract concept that is ineffable, that's tapping into some energy that, oh, my ideas are everywhere.
Right.
Maybe they were just like, I'm going to do something really useful. I'm going to make a tune for the king, and it's going to delight the soul, and that's about it. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's hard to get into all that.
That comes back to, the question of intention too, because you could hear a piece that, who for all you know, this composer could have thought, that one wasn't my best. I kind of like, I was under pressure. I just kind of wrote something. And then for some reason, some listeners hear it and they just go like, you know, sure. Well, but and in that sense, you know, it doesn't really, the intention doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And interpretation is just as valid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Debussy is clearly, with his titles at the end of the preludes and his open harmonies, like he's clearly someone who wants you to feel whatever you feel yourself.
I think interpretation sometimes can be just as valid as intention from the artist, because you can't always know the artist's intentions, and there's this idea of the intentional fallacy, where you don't want to make your intentions known, sort of how Debussy leaves his titles to the end of the preludes to avoid letting any kind of intention be known, because you might be robbing someone of seeing something in your work that you didn't see. And that also connects back to this idea that we talked about in the beginning of great ideas and art being kind of just these gifts from the universe. Because in that sense, if the artist is in a way just the receiver and the giver, why should they also be the interpreter? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
we're getting really abstract here.
It's okay. I think that Debussy does that to you.
Yeah.
Like he allows you, he permits you to get into that space, and he invites that. So, read The Creative Act. I definitely blew my mind the first time I read it, and it gave me, it like, you know, soothed my, I don't know, my mind. It's like giving you permission as just an individual. You don't have to be any qualified anything in order to understand that you are a creative individual, just because you're a human being on this earth that's surrounded by information and ideas. You have just as much of a chance of being incredibly creative as any artist or anyone who claims to be an artist. It's not, you know, beholden to just one group of people.
And creativity can come into your life through non-creative things, like packing a suitcase finding like a cool way to fit everything in your suitcase, or like little moments of creativity, like recognizing them and honoring them throughout the day can be a really fun way to live.
It's beautiful to be aware of. Yeah.
All right.